This is one of our big winged monkey puppets, and we have a scene. Of course, this is an iconic piece in the movie, and we wanted to honor that in our piece. And so we have a scene that has just a field, an ocean of these puppets. This is the largest one. And then we have one that's about 3/4 this size, and another one that's just 18 inches tall. And there's about over 30 of them in all. They kind of just fill the stage to kind of force the perspective. And these are going to be increased by the projections behind the puppets. So it just feels like it's an infinite field of these puppets. But it's very simple. It's it's just a monkey on a stick, but it has some really nice kind of flow to it. Let's see how we can do it. Like I was saying, I think I mentioned yesterday, a good way to do that, instead of doing this, a good way to do an angle change is to think about your upper hand being your pivot point. So you can even move it up a bit and you're just doing a pivot like that. Mostly, I've always been into art growing up, and I certainly watched Sesame Street a lot growing up. I grew up in rural Quebec and in a small town, and so having Sesame Street was a great way to bring kind of international quality art into my living room, And so I was definitely exposed to a lot of puppets at that point, but I was mostly just interested in art in general. And I did a few things. I went to animation for a bit, I did fine arts, and then I decided to try theater, and it was all about storytelling. I like art, but I also like characters and storytelling. And the other thing is, on my journey throughout these different disciplines, is I noticed I don't just like drawing, like in animation. Animation is really fun, but it's just drawing. I like drawing, but I like making costumes, I like doing voices, I like building mechanics, I like painting, sculpting. I like doing all those things. I didn't want to restrict myself to just one medium. And so kind of puppets kind of was always in the background in my head, but it kind of became a really viable option to kind of really take advantage of all those disciplines. And so I started that in 2003, and it's been a fantastic journey. This is Toto. He's one of our main characters, and he was built by Dan Luce in Portland, Oregon. One of the best, not only puppet builders, but puppeteers that I know. And we wanted to get him to build this puppet because this is one of the main characters, and he has to have a lot of life and a lot of sensitivity, and he's really good at creating that. And so this puppet is actually very, very simple. He's just got these sprung legs, and he's got a head rod, and he's got a body rod, and everything is done from these two rods. There's no triggers, pull strings, batteries, electronics. It's very low tech, and we want it to be very simple, but very, very sensitive and lifelike. And so he can do, almost anything a real dog can do. And so we're going to be working with the performer to not only give him life, but find some nice connections with Dorothy, because they're best friends, so we want to kind of build that friendship.